Well, hello, it's Bob Diamond, and it's great to have you here. And it's mail time in the office, so I thought I'd share the mail with you. Utility bill, not too exciting. Bank statement, not too exciting. Bank statement, not too exciting. But what I wanted to share with you was this. One beautiful grade A letter that I think contains an overages check. So let's see what's in here. Let's open up the envelope. And voila, one beautiful overages check. And this check is $8,069.55. And what it represents is the finder's fee portion on this claim. So this is a claim. Okay. Yeah, let me pull out my notes on the claim. And one of the things I like to do, and you should do when you get checks, is just verify it's the right amount. So let me just dig in here. And here's my checks due file. I keep a file of checks that are supposed to be coming in. And what I like to do is check to see, oh, here it is check to see that everything is correct and check the math. So let me put this back. All right. So the check's $8,069.55. That is correct. So that's the good first part. Let me tell you a little bit about the story of this claim, because I think that's interesting. Now, this claim is an estate claim. And it's a gentleman who was 78 years old. He passed away, and he left one adult living daughter. So after he passed away, the daughter didn't keep up with the taxes on the house, didn't really keep up with much of anything, and the house was lost at tax sale 2 years later. So I guess she didn't really know what had happened, wasn't very familiar with the situation. I think it kind of stuck her head in the sand. So we got the list. We reached out to her, found her through skip tracing. We reached out to her and said, hey, there's some money that you're, potentially owed from the estate of your father. And she said, well, my dad didn't have anything. I don't know how I could be owed anything. And she was a little bit skeptical, but with estates, people can pretty easily believe that their relative is owed or has an account or has some money that they don't know about. So after a couple of phone calls, she finally said, well, look, if you guys will take care of everything, if you'll take care of the complications, if I don't have to put up any money and just sign, if all I have to do is just sign papers that you give me and just follow along, then I'll do it. But I'm not putting up any money. And we said, clearly that's our program. We don't ask you to put up anything. And the only way that we ever get paid is if and when we collect this money that is out there, then we get a portion of it as a success fee. So she said, fine, you guys can go ahead and do your work. I'll sign the paper. So she signed the fee agreement, and we started processing the claim. Now, since this is an estate and no one had ever opened up an estate, we opened basically an abbreviated estate because there wasn't that much money to issue. There was $31,000. So we opened up a small estate. Now, we did that through a local attorney. And the reason we did that is we first of all, don't want to get involved with the complication and the work. If I'm going to spend the time figuring out how to process a claim in a county, I would rather spend that same time calling an additional claimant and signing someone up, because I'm going to save a couple $100 opening an estate on my own, but I'm going to lose thousands of dollars in overages, finder's fees if I spend my time doing that. So when you're doing this business, don't spend your time in the minutia trying to figure out how to do estates. Just let an attorney do that. Generally, you can pay them when you recover the money out of the portion of the money that's recovered. So it's really not a big deal. You'll typically pay the filing fees, $400 or $500, and then the rest of it, they do their work, and then they get paid out of the money that's recovered. So anyway, on with the story. We opened up the estate, made the claim. The county paid out a check, and what happened was the local attorney sent me a copy of the check, which is one of the things that I always insist on. I want to see a copy of that check. He sent that over, just scanned it and emailed it. And then we do these calculation sheets. So what we do is we calculate what we're owed, deduct out any expenses, and then we give instructions to the local attorney as to how to distribute money, meaning what checks to send. So he sent this little accounting. He's already sent the money to the claimant. What we ended up with $8,069.55. And I would say overall, this claim was probably 6 to 7 hours worth of work on our side. And if I can make $8,000 in 6 to 7 hours, I'm a pretty happy guy. That's great money. I'm sure you would be too. How'd you like to make $8,000 in basically a day's work? Pretty amazing. And we recovered a total of $31,000. So that's really good money. So you can imagine how happy the daughter was to have gotten essentially 30,000 because there's some expenses with this claim, so about $1,000 in expenses. So she got we got $8,000 and she got $22,000. So you can imagine how happy she was, and getting $22,000 when she expected and thought she would get nothing. Now that's pretty exciting, and it's a good feeling to be doing our job and helping people who have thought that they lost everything, or maybe they have a relative that doesn't have anything, or so they thought. And then voila, she gets a check for $22,000. The other interesting thing about this claim that I want to tell you about is there was a mortgage on the property. So when we pulled a title report, you'll see a mortgage on there. And as part of this claiming process, we did get a copy of the title report, and we saw there was a mortgage, but we of course submitted the claim anyway, because most of the time the mortgage companies are not going to show up and make a claim, because remember, we use that process where we let the claim age for at least 6 months. What happens if a mortgage company is going to show up and make a claim? They'll do it within that time period. So if they don't do it within that time period, then the chances are they're not going to show up and make any claim. So just age the claims a little bit, and that's going to solve that problem. But there was a mortgage here. Didn't matter. They didn't show up. Didn't charge a penny, and we ended up with this beautiful $8,000 check. But this isn't ultimately about us. It's about what you can do. So if you already have our system, then please use it. Get on the phone, start calling people, talking to them, getting some people signed up. If you don't have it yet, then get it, because there are literally hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars out there waiting to be claimed. There are people that are not getting money that they're owed. This money eventually forfeits to the government if it's not claimed soon enough, and most of the money forfeits. Most of it is never claimed. So you and I, as finders, can help people get money that they deserve. We make a nice finder's fee from that, and that's pretty fantastic. So lessons from this: be persistent. Just go out and do the business. It's not difficult. And you don't worry about mortgages or anything like that. Just move forward, make the claims, and you'll do absolutely fine. So this is Bob Diamond. I will see you, hopefully, sending in copies of checks that you get, or I'll see you on our next video.